All right. Hello, hello. Welcome in. We got this bad boy started ish, sort of, kind of. And we're gonna try to see if we can do some thingamadoo here from Twitch. So give us a minute to try and see if we can figure this out and if it'll even work. I think we're getting it working. Trying to see if this is working. I think we've almost got this figured out. Just technical side things. I think it's a trying to figure out this shared chat thing. He thinks it is time to get this up and running, as I think we got the whole stream together thing figured out. So yeah. So who wants to recap?
Hmm.
I'd have to go.
Hmm. Who does want to recap?
Well, we're
I
going
did
back
it
in
last
time to
time.
first Thanksgiving, to get turkey off the menu, or more accurately, keep turkey on the menu. Uh, because gobble gobble gobble, we were in the middle of the fucking forest when, up, lo and behold, holy shit, that's quite a lot of aberrant birdies out and about. And turkey is on the menu, and some chickens, of course. There were tiny ones too.
Mhm.
But these aberrant monsters had burst forth to combat us. Actually, no, I'm sorry. My mistake. Kozik, if I'm not mistaken, decided to eat mystery forest food. Even though it said
That's
politely on
right.
the
Y'all
card.
looked pretty good. Y'all looked good.
It politely said on the card, "We will have our revenge if you touch us."
Hmm.
I didn't know
You
that.
know.
Son of a.
Mm-hmm. Destined thing. Oh, we'll have our revenge. Kozik saying, nummy, nummy. Food for my tummy.
I don't remember
And,
what it was. Pecan pie, maybe. There was something. There was some good stuff.
yeah.
Oh, I
A
did.
hot and
Yes,
dog.
the hot dog. The hot dog.
Mashed potato. Chthonic, casserole.
Sort of, yeah, thonic turkey leg.
And then we all got fucking ganked. Or miraculously, I guess not. Combat opened with Opal realizing, oh my god, it's my time. Still freaking out anyway, even with her 19 AC, everybody. About, oh, what if I get hit? At 19 AC in this combat? If you get hit by that, you deserved it. Go up there, show your stuff, go have fun, gobble gobble, do the turkey trot. And cast Thunderwave at the proper level this time. Everyone should clap. Does quite a bit of damage, right? Because the little chickens were not too meaty, pretty thin on the bone, one might say. But the big guy was a problem.
Big problem.
Mm-hmm. Big problem. Worse. His giant aberrant presence meant that even by tackling the little minions, right, we were ignoring boss mechanics. They would just keep respawning. We were being dumb shits. We should have just gone for the big guy, but we didn't. There were also 2 big guys, if I remember correctly.
They were ripping at our ankles and
No.
stuff.
There were
I
like
mean,
2 big
they were
guys, and I
problematic.
know. Yeah. I know from World of Warcraft videos, you're not supposed to go for the minions, or until it's the time that you are supposed to.
No, it's true.
Irregardless of facts. We learned quickly the true goal of this encounter, which is to go after the big guy, cut them up, and then the little ones. It's a harrowing encounter, biting and chewing, ripping and tearing. I don't think any of us were too badly hurt. Question mark.
It looked like when I scrolled up and looked at the log, it looked like there was a lot of healing and laying on of hands and curing people.
Was Zeterin hit? Did he get chewed on?
There was damage taken, but nobody took so much damage that they went down.
I'm trying to remember who got hurt though, because I believe that makes sense. I think someone had to be. Oh, Veldrin.
Yeah, it was
Veldrin got
Belgian and
fucked up.
Belgian and Zed both. I think they were the only 2 people that got hit.
Yeah, I think
I
I
got
got
hit.
hit once.
Oh, Opal got hit.
I got hit too. I lost half my AC. My hit
Yeah,
points.
like I said, we fucked up the boss mechanics, everyone. Oh well. But Veldrin hid inside the little shack. I don't remember what we found inside the shack. It might just have been the message that I talked about earlier. We all heal up. It's all good. We discussed a little bit back and forth. Do we want to take this time to rest and be thankful that we survived yet another day? To say our Thanksgiving. And enjoy our friends' company. I think we decided, hell no, why do we want to stay in a place where a bunch of fucking aberrant meat came to life? Which, like, fair. And so we
Absolutely fair.
went off. We got back on the path, dear Opal as our guide. And I
Dear
believe we came
Opal.
upon this house. This house.
Nope.
the
We
end.
came across. We crossed a road, and at the crossroads, Dad sent up the cosmic raven to take a look at what they could see about 80 feet up at this crossroads. And the raven saw to the north a walled city, and to the south a smaller town, and to the east trees, houses and trees. And we decided to go to the east.
Yes.
And is this image that we see before us on the screen, is that houses and
Yeah.
trees?
Or the first house we came from that Neovar was just talking about.
House is very literally sculpted from trees.
Yeah.
Are you there, Neovar? I didn't piss you off,
Yes,
did I? Interrupting?
yeah. No, you're fine. I figured I don't remember the end of this very well, so I was like, oh, thank God. Sorry is able to fill in the blanks. Fill in the planks of this fucking earth tree. No, and I think we got that. Veldrin hung up at some point in the middle of the call, right?
It was actually near the end.
Yeah. And I think we had decided, after a little bit of back and forth, that we were going to go examine this house. That's all. I think there was a little bit of a back and forth about, like, hey, what the fuck are we doing again? Because, like, what are we doing? We are taking 20 days to travel once, like 1 day's worth of travel, it feels like.
Well, we did stay on our like that is the direction we need to go is to the east. So at least we didn't, veer off course.
We are on the right track,
Yeah.
but that track may be going the long way around the Cape of Africa rather than through the canal.
Yeah, well, it seems to be the way we roll.
It does. That's D&D for you.
Although I was
I-
thinking because when Cube said, because sorry keeps being like, oh, we have these big things we have to get to, and Cube's like, yeah, but the guy said, you're not ready yet. You have to kind of do some growing. But I was thinking, well, that's some of the growing we have to do is not run off to every little adventure on the side,
Watch.
Real.
and then maybe we'll be ready.
So I can't tell based off of our like in-game tokens because oftentimes they desync from our sheets, but I believe Inanna has her inspiration, and thusly I will give it to the person who rescued me from awkward minutes that I didn't know what the fuck I was saying at the end there. Please take the inspiration because I think that was the end of session.
I believe it was actually Sorry who did that. So
Did what?
you came to save Neovara in her
That's
time
what I
of
said.
pain.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought I heard you say someone.
Well, I'll
No.
take it. Thanks, Inanna, because I don't have one, so I appreciate that. Thanks.
Right.
Okay, boss, what's happening?
So,
What's going on with this house?
pretty much, we're picking up where we left off of you guys being at the foot of this structure, um, housing and when nature and civilization merge into one, but in a harmonious fashion. Um, it kind of seems like houses, and this is just the first one you stumble on as you make your way into like this sort of like a more clear area. It doesn't look like any of the lumber in the area has been cut down. It doesn't look like any of the trees have been harmed in the creation of these houses. Just kind of it almost seems like these houses might have even sprouted out of the trees themselves. But that wouldn't make much sense, right? Yeah, that wouldn't make much sense.
So it doesn't have like the siding and stuff like this one does, but it really is just like there'd be bark on the outside of the house or something like that. Like it's from a
Oh,
live tree, right?
oh no, there's definitely the siding as well.
Oh, so there is dead wood there then. Okay.
You would think it at a first glance. Um,
Well, you
yeah,
said no
more
trees were
like
harmed,
bark.
so I got confused.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like trees have been cut down to make these. It doesn't really. It's kind of hard to tell without looking at the interiors of these buildings if
Mhm.
the trees themselves were just already hollow or if they were grown like this. It's really hard to.
Mm,
You have no idea.
right.
This is all foreign to you. Um, but you're pretty much just at a little bit of an opening, and there's like just breaking through the tree line and your line of sight being available as it's a little more clear here. Um, yeah, it seems like there's people running around. Oh wait a minute, hold on. Note check. No, there's no people running around. Just a whole lot of animals.
A
Hmm.
whole lot of animals and no humanoids.
Yep,
No, but those are very humanoid looking houses.
they are.
Hmm.
Does any one of the arcane members of our party maybe have the talent to speak to any of these animals?
I didn't.
Well,
Nah.
we had to cut off last week because you weren't there, Kozik. We're like, this is a perfect time for Kozik to introduce himself, but he's not here. So we're going to have to wait till next week.
What kind of animal is here? Shall I introduce myself to the fawn over here? The chicken running around?
So looking at it, there's a lot of forest dwelling creatures like lizards, probably some like foxes, just, stuff you would probably typically find. Maybe an oddity here and there, like a snake that doesn't seem like it's necessarily from the region, but it's not really harming anything or doing much. Like some of the animals seem not local, but none of the creatures here seem really disturbed.
This is unusual. It's quite a menagerie here. What's going
Hmm.
on? Is somebody a keeper of these animals, or
A very good question. Perhaps.
It's the Fae.
I'm for
And there's
approaching.
animals. Yeah, and some of them don't look like they're from here.
Fae interference.
They don't seem
The Fae.
agitated though. They seem friendly. I don't know about tame, but perhaps friendly.
Hmm.
Well, I guess we should find out if any of them speak. That'd be good.
All right, I guess I go up to a badger or something if if I can find a friendly enough looking animal, and I kind of hold my hand out. I say greetings.
All right. So you say the badger?
Sure. Yeah, and I guess I just say it in common. I don't speak their forest tongue. I do speak the Fey language, but
Um, let's see. A badger. It looks at you and then skitters away.
how
Hmm.
rude. Well, And I take a look around, like being at a party and you kind of find yourself by yourself and you kind of look around and where am I supposed to be here? I look around. Is there a deer somewhere around?
Is there a what somewhere around?
A deer?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, okay. Let's see what's up. Perception. Oh, it's thinking. Here we go.
Hmm.
You do not seem to spot any deer around. Like I said, there's like foxes and snakes and frogs and birds, and you'd probably see like 4 or 5 birds like sitting on one of like quote unquote balconies of one of these tree houses just watching you. You'd see like a
Well,
snake hanging in the tree, just resting, rest. Yeah, I guess it would be resting. Just laying coiled around like a branch, watching.
this is like
Well,
the garden of
maybe we ought
the
to knock
garden
on the
of
door,
dwarf
eh?
Eden.
Maybe we ought to knock on a door.
Well, I start out and I kind of call out in a loud dwarven voice, "Hello there."
The only response you get is the chirping of birds.
Hmm. Are there any ladders or stairways going up to the houses?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them just seem like they're also just. If there were like stairs or ladders, they'd probably be inside.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a door. They have doors to knock on.
Yes.
What to say, Kozik? You want to knock on one of those doors?
I suppose if it's anyone, it should be me, I guess.
Well, that's your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fallen to me. So yeah, I approach the whatever, and I guess I'm envisioning that these things are all kind of elevated, right? Like they're in the trees, these houses.
Some are in the trees, some are on the ground with like steps leading up to
Okay.
them, kind of like the image. I could only get so much in the image, but like
No,
some
it's
of them are
great.
ground level, some are sort of more like huts,
That's a great
some are like
image.
in the trees themselves, like tree houses.
Well, I don't want to be so presumptuous as to climb up somebody's ladder, so I will just approach one of the lower level houses and rap on the door.
So you knock, knock, knock,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no answer.
Oh,
Especially with your
Either they
perception of
can't hear us or
5.
no one's home. Yeah.
Is there anybody with Kozik checking this out?
I feel like we would stay together after the turkey incident.
yeah, I think we're all there
All right.
after the turkey incident.
Close by at any rate.
See, that's one of those things in the campaign where your party finally has like, you remember that time during Thanksgiving? And then like the screen gets wavy and it's like a trip down memory lane. Um, well, if you're near Kozik or hanging out with Kozik, you can give me a perception.
Okay.
Perception.
So, I guess like similar to this image, there's like tiers or balconies or different levels.
Yeah, in some of them.
I guess, is there a window? Maybe up high somewhere.
Oh yeah, there'd be windows in some of these for sure. If not most
Zed
of
would
them.
send up the Raven again to maybe just kind of like, if I'm picturing like
Ooh.
this, maybe there's this main building that we're next to, just to kind of fly a circle around it and see if there's anyone inside or any signs that someone might live there or has been here recently.
That little
Uh,
fella's coming in quite handy today.
Then you can give me a perception. But his will be separate from theirs because his is a different point of view. Okay, so a 19 and an 18. So with your 19 and 18, as you're next to Kozik, you could swear that you hear like scratching sounds on the other side of the door, quote unquote door. And I mean, with an 18 and 19, you would see like little, like tiny little like black toe beans sticking from under the door, kind of like a cat just reaching under and just kind of how they do, where they just stick their paws under the door. And with a 12,
A cat.
you don't really see much inside the windows from up high. You'd probably maybe spot like a snake eyeing your bird very carefully. Actually, probably more of a fox. Like a fox like on a rooftop. Maybe there's a cat on the rooftop also making the chirping noises that they do. That's all Zed really sees.
All right, so yeah, I'd probably have the Raven do like a lap just around and then fly back down. What like what time of day is it?
Let's see. So they
Aren't we like
left
midday or something like that? Or
I
afternoon?
actually
about-
believe it was later in the day, as
Like mid afternoon.
Yeah, because the sun was going down
Evening.
then. So at this point, it's about evening because the sun was setting
Yeah, that's
when you
what
had
I.
got
Oh,
to
I didn't
the
remember
crossroad.
that. Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't remember that.
By the time, like, the reason why we were coming towards this place is because as we approached the road, it was becoming evening, and Opal was suggesting looking for a town because there is a road. And then, Zedrin sent his raven up, and we found this place.
But there doesn't seem to be anybody around. Now that's just strange, isn't it? A whole town and nobody that wants to talk to us.
I mean, druids. It could be a bunch of druids just in animal shape constantly. Who knows?
That could be it.
Oh, he
It's
figured it
only a
out.
shame that I can't transform into that. Ugh. And she
Well,
considers it. Is there a
we've
door?
arrived around tea time, but I doubt any of these gophers or raccoons can put the kettle on, don't you think? Ha 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 ha. I laugh at my own little joke.
Niavara is going to attempt to sneak over to, towards where a door might be on the thing. She's trying to avoid the notice of the animals too.
Hey, Kozik.
You know what? She'll also burn. Where is it? Aha! This. Come on, load. Oh, I love it. It's froze.
Oh,
Oh.
is the magic energy
There we go.
gathering? Good.
She'll use that to become invisible.
That's nice.
It only lasts for an action, of course. So she's going to attempt to stealth over as quickly as possible towards the door.
I guess
Mm-hmm.
while this is happening, Zed's gonna turn over to Kozik.
As
You able to
loudly as
use
possible.
that like weird helmet that lets you hear folks? Like if any of these are druids that have shapeshifted in some way, they might be talking to each other in animal voices, and we can't hear them.
That may be true. I mean, certainly I can't understand the tittering of the beasts, but if they are speaking a language, I should be able to understand it. And I kind of put both my hands up and touch the helmet, and I kind of listen to see if the foxes are saying anything.
There's no spoken language going on.
Hmm.
Well,
Just
we've got to
normal
assume
animal sounds.
that this, and he's gonna point to the house growing out of a tree, is some sort of magic.
I would think so. Yeah.
I'm also sticking with his 5
I guess we can run
perception.
through our whole toolbox here. Let me see. And I kind of concentrate.
And also in Nana,
in it.
Yep.
let's see, you rolled a stealth of 9, i.e. a
Mhm.
natural 1.
Mhm.
Feel free to roll me a d100. $55. Well, I didn't declare to them that I had inverted that, so I'll just go with it. All right. Yep, nope. You just, I mean, as far as you know, right? Because rolling a natural 1 doesn't necessarily mean like your character just automatically knows, oh, I failed, right? Like your character is probably
Mhm.
convinced that you're being stealthy, because otherwise, like, oh, I rolled a 2. I know my character's not being stealthy. Well, not really. Um, kids think they're stealthy all the time, and their hands are still in the cookie jar when you're looking right at them. So
She's like, I turn invisible. That must mean I'm stealthy as shit, obviously. Ignoring the fact that she's surrounded literally by a bunch of fucking animals. She's like, I totally got this as she walks past all these things. I can absolutely smell her. Hear her as she fucking tromps through this forest. Clomp, 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 clomp.
yeah,
She's
like you
a
could
city
swear
spy.
the sounds you're making is just like the swaying of the trees. So you think you're being stealthy.
100%. I'm committed to this bit. A round in D&D takes what, like 10 seconds?
6 seconds.
For everyone to act?
Yep.
Because it says until the start of your next turn.
Yep. So an entire round, everybody going through their turn is 6 seconds.
Okay, got it. So yeah, for 6 whole seconds, Niavara is invisible. Perfectly stealthy. And then she reappears and keeps on trying to stealth up now that she thinks that she has the cover of shadow to a door. And she's going to attempt to put her hand. She's gonna, like, instead of putting her hand on the thing, she's going to, like, try and examine, like, put her ear up to the door to like hear if she see if she hears anything going on inside.
All right. You had rolled a perception of 19, so we're just gonna keep rolling with that. So you put your ear up to the door, and with your perception, you can hear like the beating of wings. And then when you take your ear off the door for a second, you see that there's this owl just staring directly at you through the window. Kind of like a little glass window on the door sort of thing.
Niavar does a long, slow blink. Do I think it's looking at me? Oh fuck. If she reaches towards the handle carefully, she's watching the owl now as she does it.
It's staring intently.
She cocks her shoulder, or like her head, before she pulls her hand back from the door very carefully.
It's
And she
still watching
considers her
intently.
actions very carefully. She turns to the others and, like, in the least subtle dream whisper, "Guys, come over here! There's a huge fucking owl!"
Stage whisper.
Uh-huh. Exactly. She thinks she's being good. Unfortunately, not so much. It's an off day. She's tired.
Yeah, I go over there.
And
There's
she
a
points
what?
to the huge fucking owl.
No way.
How big is the owl exactly? Bigger
No,
than Niavara?
no,
Bigger than Tia Moonblade?
just a normal size owl. Just kind
Oh,
of
okay, never
had a little
mind.
perch.
It's
I
not looking that
understand.
big, Nivar. I don't get what you're talking about.
Okay, I might have overestimated. I have never seen an owl before. No comment.
You have
All
never
right then.
seen, and actually, never mind. You grew up in the Underdark. That makes sense.
And then she looks through the window. Does she see anything else other than the owl?
There's a nice cozy house in there with a cute little couch. It's got like a nice like a coffee table sort of thing, but it's all made out of like wood, and it kind of looks like the table itself is just not nailed down, but like a part of the ground, like the floor itself, like it's made of wood, but it also looks like they carved the table out of wood of the natural like tree. So it kind of looks like the where you think they're like table legs that you can move, it just kind of looks like the legs and the floor are a single piece. And there's this like nice little couch that has like this whole like vine motif to it. And it's got like like these, I mean, from what you can tell, like these owl feathers on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
Uh,
cozy.
Hang on a minute. Let me talk to this fella. I've got a spell for speaking with animals here.
Through a window.
Well, I'm gonna just see if I can open the door.
Knock first. I think we've been seen definitively.
Yeah,
It's
this owl
watching
is
us.
staring right at you guys at the door. It looks like it has like a perch on the other side, just
Hello,
to stare.
hello, can we come in?
Ooh.
Well, he says come on in.
Nevar knocks on the door loudly.
He said come in. Didn't you hear him?
He said, "Whoo."
No.
Exactly. He said come in. I can understand what he's saying.
He's saying who? Like he's literally saying who?
And then
Oh, so
Well,
Nevar
we're
nudges.
we're a
this is a
group of
this is
travelers
Inanna,
called the
and
Sail
this is
Company,
Sorry. This is Kozik, and this is Opal, and I'm Zed.
and we're a group of travelers, and we're on our way to Chronosis to go to the library, and we're coming through town here, and we're looking for a place to sleep for the night, and we thought maybe you folks might have a place where we could rest our heads.
All right, so you say that, and the owl sort of tilts its head to the side, and then flies off.
It doesn't
Rude.
say anything. Well, maybe he's gone to get someone that can help us.
So you wait.
Yeah. I
How long do you
guess.
wait? I say, how long are you willing to wait?
Um, what do you think, guys? About 15 minutes?
By the 5-minute mark, Nevar is mad.
Okay, it definitely won't take that long. So if you wait for about 2 or 3 minutes, you would hear like the owl's like fluttering wings somewhere inside, except for maybe Kozik, who has perception of 5. Um, Actually, it's not really being stealthy about it either. So even Kozik could probably hear it. It's lively enough. Um, and you would definitely hear the sound of something large, heavy, making some footstep sounds, and you can maybe hear some of the wood creaking. And it kind of sounds like something big and bulky is making its way downstairs.
So
Hello.
while we're sitting and waiting, and I guess hearing this come toward us, Zed's gonna send the familiar up again. So he already did a lap around the building, but there was kind of a path leading here. Does that path continue in that direction past this town? Or is this kind of like where the path ends that we were on?
Let's see here.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
The perception
This
of
has been
12.
heading east for a while.
So you would be able to determine that the path ends here.
Really? We've been following it forever and it stops right here. Wow.
You can give me a nature check though, Zed. Let's see if he notices. All right. Accurate. Oh, I had my audio muted for that, but yeah. All right, yeah. So it seems like the path ends with this little set of domiciles. And in that time frame, everybody else who's probably waiting with bated breath upon the sounds of the heavy footsteps, just looking in the window, you see this very large, pretty
No, we're
chunky.
inside though. We went inside already.
What's up?
We're inside. We went inside.
Oh, the door wasn't open.
Oh wait, that's right. I was thinking he let us in, but no, you're right. He just asked who we were. Okay, sorry.
Nice try. So you see this very large, like brown bear, just taking its time, meandering downstairs.
I love bears.
And well, meandering, yeah, there's stairs. But just looking at because you're probably like putting your head up to the window and trying to look in and get a better angle, and just having sat there and waited for a good, a couple minutes. You notice that the stairs are also merged with the wood, just in the same way as that table is. Like almost like stairs were carved there, but it's very natural and apparently very sturdy. And this giant bear just waddles itself up to the door, and you see its teeth like wrap around the knob, and then the door opens, and then it takes a few steps back and just sits on its like butt. Dude.
Well, hello there, sir. Um, well, we're just some travelers and wondering if there's a place we might rest our heads tonight.
It nods and turns its head to the couch. Meanwhile, the owl flutters downstairs. And now that you're inside and can get a proper, full view of the place, it is extremely cozy, all natural. Like any furniture seems like it was made from the wood, or maybe even like grown to take a certain shape, like it has. You would notice like the stairs almost look like they're grown out of the wood. The tables like grown from the floor. The sides of the couch, the whole vine motif is just a part of the structure or intended structure of a tree. And even like the little kitchen-esque area, you don't really see like a stove or anything, but just sort of a area that probably would be like a counter, maybe some cupboards, stuff like that. And there's no fireplace, so it's not that cozy, but there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
But yeah. And like I said, the owl flutters downstairs and just lands on this bear's shoulder slash head.
What a beautiful place you've got here. It's really quite amazing.
Truthfully, it is rather.
It nods.
Might you be willing to rent us some space for the night?
It just sort of grunts a little bit as it heaves its heavy set furry thick hide off the floor. That's how like bear noises.
But Sorry can understand because she casts speak with animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's he telling? It says I can comprehend and verbally communicate. So is he telling us that we can stay, or
You can give me it. You don't really doesn't seem like speak with animals is really working.
it's
But you can
okay?
give me a insight.
So speak with animals is not working. That's weird. Oh gosh.
It's can neither confirm nor deny.
Wait a minute. My insight is supposed to have a +4, and it's just showing a +1.
I
That's
see a
weird.
+1 and a +3.
Oh, it's
Yeah, that
not
plus
showing up.
4.
Oh, I was looking at the one. I was looking at Zed. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So this giant bear just lays down next to the couch and then looks at you and then gets up again and then starts waddling like up these stairs but looks back to you, right? So it's kind of like, I mean, with a 9, it's you're you're not 100% sure of its intent, but it's, I mean, it's kind of clear intent, but you're just not sure.
I mean, I think it might be saying we're invited to sleep on the couch. I think that's a saying that people have, couch surfing. Never quite gotten it. Neovar will slowly walk into the room.
And this thing's
Oh, what?
also like going up the stairs and like poking its head down and then going back up the stairs.
Is it waiting for us?
And why isn't my spell working?
I mean, it could be that it's not speaking.
If he's trying to get us up the stairs, if he's going up, he wants us to follow him.
Could be. I
Well, let's
mean,
try following him, and then we'll know. He'll let us know if he doesn't want us to follow him.
yeah, sounds about right.
Thought they were too different.
Neovar will scamper up after the bear.
And as it sees people following it, just turns around and starts, finishes its trip up the stairs. And up here, there is a very nice, sizable, like, bedroom, quote unquote. There's like wood and oak motif dressers, probably for storage. You don't really see any candlelight or anything like that. But you do notice from the ceiling, roof, whatever you want to call it, there's like this little wooden, kind of looks like a little wooden cage sort of thing, where there's like this pretty decently sized would it be bioluminescent? Kind of like a light bug that's just inside of it, and it just kind of flickers and flutters and comes to life as you walk in or walk upstairs.
Very interesting.
But the bed looks like it's big enough to fit a bear. So it's real big. I'd probably say like a king size mattress.
Neovar's gonna take a little gander around the room. Does she see any things that would obviously belong to someone who's capable of writing? Paper, pencils, things that are meant to be sat on by a smaller form, etc., like a desk, chairs.
Not in here. You do know that there's like a wall that you guys didn't really go around, but there's not really a door there. So it's like you walk upstairs and turn and there's like a wall, but then it just leads you into like this bedroom. So think of it like it in a couple of different sections. It's just showing you the bedroom.
Well, Master Bear, is this where we're intended to sleep?
It nods its head and then goes up next
Oh.
to the bed and like not lays on it or anything, but like goes next to the bed and lays down as if it were going asleep, but then it kind of gets back up and then looks at you and then looks at the bed.
Yeah, he's trying to tell us. He's trying to tell us that we can sleep here.
Oh.
But we're barely all gonna fit.
Which is why I will generously take the couch.
Have you got any more bedrooms,
I
our
can
friend?
Or I can sleep anywhere. Reminder.
It shakes
You
his
guys
head.
take the couch. You guys take the bed. I'll have the couch. Or I
But
guess
it's
the
still
Bell and I
not
will have
enough
the
room,
couch.
is it? I mean, have you got any more bedrooms that we can use, sir?
It shakes his head.
Barely.
Oh,
Barely.
sorry, you and
Yes.
Kozik and Zeterin will fit on a king-size mattress with the bear. Barely. Which is why I'm going to go to sleep
Well,
downstairs with
I'm
Belle.
just fine to roll out my sleeping stuff out on the floor. I'm just fine with that.
Well, yes. The
I'll
mattress
see
is
you in the
it's
morning.
very large.
It was very
But we all
large.
should barely fit, indeed, Mr. Thatcher. And
I mean, it won't
I'm
be
glad to sleep on it.
unbearable.
No, certainly not. Our lot in life is to grin and bear it, so
The puns.
All I need are the bare necessities.
Forget about
I,
your
s-
worries and your care.
I swear you're as bad as Waggy right now.
You're making a right mess of this den. Now go hibernate already, I guess.
So this is kind of a question about the spell cube because I'm not really familiar with it. Sorry, that's maybe the last one for about 5 minutes. But find familiar, can that almost like if we're long resting and Zed's asleep, like his find familiar doesn't go anywhere. So would it be able to kind of be on alert? Not really count as a watch, but if something happened, would it be able to wake one of us up or kind of act as that sort of thing?
I believe so, because they don't sleep.
Okay. So if Niavara goes downstairs, I don't know who all's going downstairs, but I would have the bird, the raven, like perched if there was a railing on the stairs, uh, intentionally somewhere that might have a vantage of the people downstairs and the people upstairs in this room, just to be able to just kind of keep eyes on everything. And if anything happened downstairs, I'd want the raven to come alert us, like if we couldn't hear it or whatever. That was just kind of my
Yep,
intention, I guess.
keeping watch.
Yeah.
Those of you upstairs would probably eventually see like 2 bear cubs roaming around. But they'd notice you guys and just be really curious and like sniffing clothing and stuff like that.
Why wouldn't Sorry's spell have worked?
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Does it sound
Why
like
would
any food is on the stove or anything? Is there anything cooking in the
no
kitchen?
stove, no fire, no fire in there.
Nope.
Have we used our coin? Maybe we could just use our coin and put out a simple meal or something. Who's got the coin?
Kozik.
What you think, Kozix? How about we put out a little meal before we get some sleep?
Maybe the bears would appreciate.
Right. Let's make sure we. I mean, I've got him up. They like, right? They like honey and berries and stuff like that.
Picnic baskets, maybe?
Right. Picnic a basket.
Hmm.
Kozik, how about it?
Sure, whatever's do your work.
But you've got the coin. You want to
Well, I
make him.
give it to you.
All right. Well, I'll put out one of my elven type meals of oh, we've got, well, there's lots of honey and berries and fruit, and there's some breads and some meats and cheeses and just simple fare that's really good, and we offer some to the bears, to the big bear and the little cubs, and
Hey, what about fish? I like fish.
oh yeah, and we've got and some big hunks of big raw salmon just sitting right there on the table. Got its eyes still in and everything.
Raw.
And we offer it to the bears.
Uh, they sniff it, but they seem content.
Okay.
They already ate.
Well, I don't know about the raw fish, but I guess shouldn't let this honey and various fruits of the forest waste.
I mean, it is still evening. So, pretty much people are settling in into the house that they barely knew.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know where
Truly
we
a
are,
great idea with no consequences.
who these animal people might be, but yeah,
But we feel pretty good about them, yeah. I mean, let's see. I mean, probably earlier. Sorry, should have done that. No, did we check the good and evil thing, or did we check the magic thing? We did one of those, right? Somebody checked for magic?
I did a detect magic earlier, but I got kind of passed over, and then we were doing other stuff.
Well, I'm detecting good and evil.
How many of those do you
to
have
be
left
sure.
today? Because I know you did that around the turkey thing.
Oh, is it not a new day from that?
Didn't we
Nope, not
take a
yet.
short rest though? Meaning that
No, we
Hayes'
rested
world would
already
reset.
since then.
It's
I
since
thought we
the place
rested
of
since
30
then.
feet is
I
a
believe
secret
we
they
did a
just.
short rest. Because I
I
remember
believe
using
I
hit
can
dice.
just cast it at will. Is the language on that?
Well, detect mag. No, well, let's see. I think your detect magic is ritual.
Yeah, you can do a ritual.
No, it's granted by the Dark Lady.
Yeah,
It's
the
just,
warlock thing.
It's one action.
So I remember you guys saying we need to get the fuck out of here from turkey situations.
We took a short rest because I remember using my hit dice.
Yeah.
Eldritch Sight. You can detect magic at will without expending a spell slot.
Yep. I'm just seeing if Sorry actually has any more charges of detect evil and
I
good at this
do.
point.
I do have
One.
first level. I
Spell
do have
slots.
first
Okay.
level spells left.
Okay. Let's see. Celestial Elemental, Fey, Fiend, Undead. So would they be elemental? They're not Fey. They're not Fiend. They're not Undead. They're not Celestial. They're not aberrations.
Thank you.
Elemental could, but they're not elementals either. Within 30 feet, but it can't penetrate. You don't detect anything within that reach.
Okay.
Because it says like 30 feet.
Right.
But blocked by a foot of stone, an inch of common metal, 3 feet of wood or dirt. So, I mean, in the room you're in, you don't detect any of that.
So
I should
did
get the whole
Kozik
house, but yeah.
Well,
did
it
Kozik
doesn't pierce barriers, so there's a limit to. Like,
Oh,
it doesn't just say within 30 feet no
spell
matter
can
what. It's still.
penetrate. It says it can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by a
Mm-hmm.
foot of stone. But this is all wood
No, keep
or 3
reading.
feet of wood.
Exactly.
Right, but I mean,
You,
between
yeah,
the top level and the bottom level of the house, you think there's 3 feet of that the
I,
floor is 3 feet
It's like a
thick on
solid.
the
It's like a
second
solid
floor?
tree.
Yeah, but I don't
mhm.
think it's a 3-foot thick branch on the second
Oh, you
floor.
don't?
No.
Well, so I was gonna say on top of this, did Kozik do detect magic as well? Because we were talking about this definitely being magic. I was alluding to hopefully doing that. We're getting all of our radars synced up here, you know.
It's
Yeah. I mean, here,
definitely
let
too
me
thick
throw it
to
out again.
penetrate that.
Little sonar effect. Yeah, it's
This is very dense.
the magic energies are gathering. They're swirling here in this cozy house. Let me hit it
Because
again.
ironwood is a thing.
Yes.
It's unfortunate that our druid is not here today.
Yeah,
Uh,
that'd be useful, right?
perfect timing for the druid to be missing.
Um,
Oh, that freaked me out. I had my character sheet open, and I thought Cube just added like a fog to the scene, but
It's just the template.
it's the detect magic, yeah, radius.
I guess I could have hit a button. I didn't have to place it, but I had to.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, when I reach out with my feelings, Luke, then do I am I in the same? I guess, I mean, it's a concentration thing, so I guess I can walk around the house if it gets to that point, but
Are you upstairs or downstairs?
I guess I'm still in the bedroom for now.
So, magic in bedroom, the bear, the owl.
But they're I don't sense maybe a metamorphosis magic or anything. It's just sort of like pretty prosaic. That's not the right word. It's like normal in here.
I mean, it would probably fall more under transmutation. Because it is technically an
Okay, so
ability.
I am sensing that kind of magic.
Let's see. Because Wild Shape is technically a magical ability, but it's an ability, so it's kind of weird in that regard.
Around the owl and the bear, is that what we're saying?
Yep, there's an owl bear.
No!
Everybody run!
It's inside! So, I mean,
Don't let them merge.
I kind of gesture to, I don't know, I kind of keep it under my breath because it seems rude to just shout it out loud, but I say to Mr. Thatcher, yeah, I'm getting kind of some sort of transformational aura around that owl and that bear, but otherwise it seems like the place is normal. It's extraordinary, but normal.
All right. So you feel like Zed's gonna kind of pipe up and say this loud enough for everyone. So does this look like a good place to get some rest?
Yeah, I sure am tired. I'll tell you that.
I tell you what.
All right, well,
And I guess the animals, the creatures are indifferent to they're just like, whatever, we've invited you in, and they're just doing their own thing.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's a creation of it. Yeah.
So can I do like an insight or a perception? The owl was just staring at us at the door. Does the owl seem like it's still just kind of keeping eyes on us, or is it like nonchalant, almost like the bear seems to be?
Give me an insight.
Nailing those 12s today.
I mean, it seems like both. Like,
Okay.
imagine if you invite somebody into your house, but you're just sort of nonchalant. You're still gonna be like, keep an eye on them because you don't know them. But you're also trying to not to make it awkward either, because you did sort of invite them in.
Yeah, so makes sense. Oh well, hey, if you all want to get rest, I don't mind taking first watch.
All right, sounds good to me.
Well, I thought you were gonna have your raven there keep a watch, then, so you can get some sleep.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna just not take a watch myself, though. It
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
sleep, so it'll be around, for all the watches, basically. Just kind of an extra set of eyes.
All right then.
Wow, you can't even trust the owlbear in a magic treehouse, or at least
This
maybe
is
a
just
magically
common.
crafted treehouse, because that don't seem
This is just
natural.
common practice.
Yeah.
Well, we don't do that when we stay at inns, though.
We have in the past.
Oh,
We
okay.
have, yeah.
Well, not for the last year, anyway.
I'm just waiting for Goldilocks to show up.
Right.
All right. Well, do we get ourselves a long rest or not yet?
You
Because something untoward is about to happen.
you would if you all are. If the consensus is long rest, then you get a long rest.
All right. We could all use one, I think.
Oh, damn.
I think it sounds
So
right. I didn't
are we
necessarily
doing
feel like
checks or
staying up
anything,
to
or are
play
we just
cards.
hitting it?
I think Niavara's downstairs. And would also want to do her own checks separately, because like she's pieced together like weird shit's going on, but she doesn't want to scare the others.
Oh. Well, weird shit's going on, but you think there's malevolent shit going on?
She doesn't even think it's malevolent shit. She just thinks it's weird shit.
Well, that's for sure.
If it was malevolent shit, wouldn't it have tried to kill them at least once by now?
Oh, I might be waiting for us to be nice and sleepy.
Oh, she's just
But I
gonna
think
have.
we're good.
Yeah.
Sorry
Have
feels
cast
pretty good about the situation.
her own version of detect magic as soon as it pops up. My computer is so slow.
But if my speak with animals didn't work, but the detect magic is working, why wouldn't the speak with animals work? The speak with animals wouldn't work because they're not really animals. That's why it wouldn't
Yeah,
work.
both of the owl and the bear have transmutation magic, is what I guess Kozik was able to sense.
That's what we were able to sense. I mean, it doesn't
Oh,
tell us the whole
I'm
story, but that's what's
oh,
going
I
on.
missed that because I was talking to somebody. Okay. Well, then we don't know what they are then. So they could be like undesirable people to be sleeping in a house with.
Could just be cursed.
They seem
The
pretty
mild.
relaxed. I mean, I don't sense
Oh,
anything.
okay. So it was maybe done to them then.
Well, that or like I'm not entirely like I can actually look maybe. I could look at my other character sheet. This is OOC information.
Okay.
Um,
His
doesn't
facepalm in
tell.
Comic Sans. That was
I
an
would assume
action-packed
that
facepalm.
wild shape. If you were a druid and you wild shaped, that it would be a form of transmutation because you're shape shifting, you know.
Oh, okay.
And if you're shape shifted, you cannot. Again, this is also OOC. Uh, but if you're shape shifted, you can't communicate outside of the language of the animal that you are. So you would be if you shapeshifted into a bear and you tried to speak to someone, it would just sound like a bear growling, or you know,
So then how
you
would
could
that affect my spell to be able to speak with animals? Wouldn't I be able to understand the
well, because
growls?
no, because they're not. Well, that's a good
If
sort of
Just turning
semantical
into an
thing.
animal doesn't teach you how to
It,
communicate like an animal
yeah,
per
like
se.
you would be able to the weird part about the spell is if I turned into a bear around other bears, I could understand with them and communicate with them. But I think that's more of a spell property and not like me learning the language.
Right, but that means that whatever you're saying comes out in bear language. So if my spell is to be able to
Yeah,
understand bear language or whatever
right.
animal's
So it's like
speaking.
I feel like if there were it's almost one of those things that like let's say that there was 3 bears and one of them was wild shaped. This is all like convoluted, so I apologize.
No, it's good. It's good.
But like if I was a druid and I wild shaped to a bear and there were two other bears and you did speak with animals, you'd hear what the other bears were saying and not necessarily what I was saying, but contextually
Really?
you'd probably get it.
But the
I think
bears could understand you.
yes, but again, it's a weird, so I don't know how it works, but I'm assuming that
But
maybe that's why you couldn't understand them.
okay, okay.
And I know that druids, when they wild shape, they can understand the languages that they already know. So if we were speaking common to them, they would understand it. They would just not be able to speak common back.
Yeah, right. No, I'm just.
Um,
It's
so
more. I'm
so
like,
it's
wow, bears
yeah,
can
the speak
understand
with
them, but
animals
I
thing
can't. Yeah,
might
yeah.
have just been like it again to DM discretion, or I don't know, because Kozik
Sure.
didn't hear uh anything but animal noises when he used his helmet, and that's supposed to allow him
Okay.
to understand languages and stuff. So
Right,
I don't know,
right,
something
right.
weird going
Okay.
on.
All right. Something
Um,
weird's going on. All right.
but yeah, I'm there apparently the animals are magical, and I guess Zed's gonna be up for first watch if we have watches, and I guess Niavara's investigating downstairs.
Okay.
And some people did bring up the point as far as like the whole language thing. Um, Animals don't understand or speak languages. Sylvan is the language of the Fae. Speak with animals from the range-sized druid spell is designed to communicate with animals. And some would also say that druidic is what allows them to sort of communicate with animals in that sense. So like some like they were sort of suggesting like it's sort of like thieves can't, but for druids.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where it's once you start putting shape shifting into play, a lot of rules get convoluted
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
because a lot of the it becomes a lot of weird edge cases and what ifs, and if this works with this, then how does this interact with that? Because this thing does effectively this thing, but for a very specific niche. But then how does it work? It becomes a
Right.
lot of
Right.
rules getting a little blurred.
Right. That makes sense. Thanks for explaining that.
I guess kind of what it boils down to is in character and even I guess out of character, by using that spell and it not working, you might not know why, but it should be like leading you to be like, huh, okay, this isn't normal. Because typically I would be able to speak with animals using this spell. You know what I mean? So it's like there's something weird going on that we got to figure out, is
Right.
what I'm
Right. There's
taking
some
from
kind
it.
of cross contamination that's not in
Right? Yeah,
there
yeah.
yet. Yeah. Okay.
All right, enough druid talk. I'll be quiet.
No, but thank you.
It's interesting.
So, did you detect anything, Inanna?
Downstairs.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's the same aura.
Yep, pretty much. All the cubs. Oh wait, this is morning now. You're doing this in the morning, right? Not at night.
Yeah, I'll do it in the morning.
No, in the morning there's people.
What?
Oh, they're only animals at night.
Are you the bear's
Okay.
roommates or something? What's going on?
So we
So,
got through the night.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh
I'm
Jesus.
gonna long rest.
Okay, so for whoever's awake first, I suppose, you would hear the sounds of people and chit chatting and camaraderie. There'd even be the sounds of probably sounds like a man and a woman chit-chatting somewhere in the house, in this current house. Sounds like a couple of kids laughing and playing, having a good time. Very homely.
Hello, good morning.
And who are you
Thank
talking
you
to?
so much. I'm talking to the people that are chit chatting and having a good old time. I walked down the stairs and because I'm an early riser and I walked down the stairs and although I bet Inanna would have been
Up early
she
because
was
she's always up early.
downstairs. Yes, you're always up early and you're sleeping downstairs right on the couch. So you probably meet him first.
Wakes up to a, this is not the weirdest situation she's found herself in with this group of people, let's just say. But also I imagine waking up unfamiliar place and there's new voices. Hello, on God, who's there?
On which god?
All of them. The sovereign host and the worm above and below. Obviously.
So, you, being the first one awake, would notice that there's, a man and a woman, and they're having a seat in like the kitchen area, I guess the dining area. Um, they're just having a conversation. They both look like they have like these sort of wreaths in their hair, like a lot of leaves and stuff, maybe some fur here and there, maybe a couple of feathers in the woman's hair, but they definitely, like, all of the people in here have elven features. They have the pointy ears, pretty slender body shape, body types, stuff like that. But the man and the woman are just sitting at a like dining table, having some kind of like drink that's made from some sort of like tree root mugs.
Um Hello? Sirs?
Oh,
And
hello.
she'll brush herself off. And she sort of like glances them over, looks at the feathers. She doesn't see any animals about, does she?
Not a single one.
Unless there was quite the circus act in the middle of the night that I was not woken up by. Am I to presume that you're our host?
Yes, that would be me and my beloved. And he gestures to this elven woman with like long, like greenish hair, bluish eyes.
Um, well, thank you most kindly. Um, what was that last night, if I can ask?
What was what?
Um, you know, why were you?
Neovar trying to ask a question without making it awkward.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not every day that I meet a house full of animals and then wake up to find a house full of people.
Oh, that. One and the
Oh,
same.
that.
I mean, change becomes all of us, but also very interesting change, intriguing change.
Why is that? The man seems to be quirking a brow, quizzically.
Hmm. And then she considers, does she know what type of elves these are? She doesn't think they're Eladrin.
You can give me a nature.
Oh no.
They're pretty much like wood elves.
And so, she'll allow a little bit of frost to temper her skin as she's like, well, I will admit, I've only heard rumors of my forested cousins, one might say. I had heard tales that you were far less engaged in change.
Well, that's preposterous. Nature itself changes, the seasons change, evolution is change. Survival requires it.
Likely just stories I heard as a girl, then. Take no mind to it. Thank you for letting us stay underneath your roof.
Of course.
I suppose that I ought to wake up my companions, so that I may tell them, and then go off to make prayers to my deities. And she bows her head politely. Again, trying to pull off the prim proper poise of a wintry Eladrin.
The man just like lifts his cup and does like a nod.
She'll scamper up the stairs again. Gently knock on the door where she left everyone else before she pokes her head in.
Come on in, girls.
Walks.
Sorry's already awake.
Hey, have you noticed something? Sorry.
Yeah, I think there's been a bit of a change over the night.
Yeah, they haven't said why, but like that's just them, I guess. Okay. Uh, I said that I was gonna go get you, and then I was going to, do my thing on the side.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm coming down then. I'm coming right now.
Mm-hmm. Very strange. What elves?
Uh,
I don't know much about
OOC, is that wood? That's not a common thing for wood elves, right? I mean, in general, that's special to this group.
Seems like, well, you know what? Give me a history check. Because you're from the Feywild. Is this normal for Wood Elves?
Okay, hence the OOC, but yes, let's see.
I know. But if I don't tell you that, then you'll be more prone to react like without any of that extra knowledge. The reaction is more legitimate.
Yes.
So on the 15, well, based on your experience in the Feywild and elves and you know, denizens of other places, yeah, granted, elves might have some Fey ancestry, which is attributed to their long-lived lives, but for them to just have an innate ability to turn into animals, that especially if you're applying it to this entire village, that doesn't really seem like it makes much sense. Like maybe it would make more sense if this were in the Feywild, but
Right,
you're
right,
not.
right. All right. So sorry bounds down the stairs with because she's heard all the cheery voices and knows everyone's awake, and she bounds down the stairs as Neavara heads out.
And you would
And
almost get like knocked over by a couple like elven kids like running. They're you kind of know how kids are, like when they're playing and stuff, they're just sort of oblivious to the world around them. So
yeah,
they
yeah,
almost like bump into you while they're just like one of the kids, there's a boy and a girl, and one's like, "No, give me that toy. No, it's mine." And they're just, kind of running up and down the stairs and just doing general small creature things.
and that makes Sari laugh, and she's just laughing at the fun of it all because it's been a little bit of a rough time, and it's such a delight to be around a family and some kids and people that are feeling good and not some kind of oppressed village in the grip of some horrible villain. But uh, so
You don't know if that's the
uh,
case.
well, anyway, they seem to be having a good time. So, good morning. Thank you so much for having us here.
And like I said, you step downstairs and there's this man and a woman just sitting at a dinner table. And the woman has like her hand on the man's hand, and they're just having a chit chat. And you call out, and he turns his head and lifts his mug. Ah, no problem. Welcome,
Well,
welcome guests.
thank you so much. That's so kind. I didn't expect to run into any other elves in this part of the world. It's wonderful to see some family, as it were. Um, but that's an odd little bit you've got there with the change. Is that natural to your family, or did that come about in some other way?
It is natural to my family, is, I suppose, walking?
Well, that's a beautiful thing, brother. That's a beautiful thing.
Aye.
Aren't the rest of you following down the stairs?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm up and at 'em, and
And while you're having this conversation, you would see the woman, like, give the man a peck on the cheek. And so I did that because owl. And she heads upstairs, basically to where the kiddos are. I'll check on them. As you can hear the commotion getting a little bit louder upstairs from the two of them.
well, we certainly did not mean to intrude upon your village here and your home, but it was just so cozy. And of course, uh, when we arrived yesterday, we didn't find any people here at all, just animals all over the place of various kinds. It's rather amazing.
Yes, you will find that there will be a lot fewer of those at this current hour. And then he sort of looks out the window. Um, he's just peeking out the window, sort of looking at the sunlight and time of day. Yes, about now.
Eh?
Oh, about now is when there would be less turned critters.
You say that in character?
I think he's saying about right now is when there'd be less. The change seems to be happening at night. He said it's a natural part of their family, which is just lovely, isn't it?
He
Yes.
nods. The only way to truly be at one with nature.
Hmm.
Well, I can certainly see how you'd feel that way. Absolutely.
And are there
So,
other forms?
oh, sorry.
Are there other forms that you might take? You
Oh,
seem to
yes,
be a happy
sometimes.
family of bears.
Well,
Please.
I mean, sometimes I choose to be a bear, sometimes I could be a fox. It's really what I choose to be that would have I don't know. Whatever nature wills, I suppose.
Wow.
It's more of a
So,
feeling.
so you're not sure at the night what animal you might become.
Well, I have a proclivity to bears, but... And then he just kind of shrugs.
Well, I would you mind if I asked you a question about the environment around here, the land around here?
Of course. But first, and he puts a
Uh,
finger in the air,
yeah.
and he goes over to, and he stands up and goes to like this countertop, but it sort of looks like a wooden faucet, and with even like the little not spigot, but like a, he kind of like turns something, and you see like water come out of it, and then he turns it again, and the water stops, and then he goes and sits back down at the dinner table. All right, and takes a sip.
Yes. Well, uh, we came from the west, and we came to a crossroads not far away, and we were able to determine that if we perhaps turn north, we might come to some sort of walled city, and the other direction there was a smaller village, but we decided we would continue down the path because we're heading eastward. What about the walled city? Can you tell us anything about that?
Yes. Somewhat. Our our village is a traveling one, so we only really get
Is
to
that right?
trade with them in small doses.
What, your whole village travels? Is that what you're saying?
But yes, doesn't
Oh my!
yours?
y-
Just kidding. I
Well, we're
know that's
not.
not natural.
Well, we're not in a village as it were now, but how long do you stay in each location then?
Oh, usually about a week or so.
And do the houses move with you? I mean, when you move, do the trees that you go to next, do new houses sprout out of them, and these go back to being trees, or how's that work?
He kind of looks a little perplexed at your question. Like he almost looks as confused as you are. Um, uh,
Do the houses go with you when you move your village? I mean,
yes.
they come. Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's just a beautiful thing.
So you can't you what kind of people live there in that town? We might want to visit there.
Oh, the walled
Well,
city, you keep asking. Yeah, yeah. I've got no interest in going to that walled city because, you know, a fortified city is a city full of weapons and people with, skills and intentions to use them. And I don't mind just passing that place on by. Can we move? Can we continue to go east from here? Uh, we thought that maybe the trail ends here. So is there no trail that continues east from here? Do you know?
not a trail, no. As far as your question in regards to the walled city, that city is called Calm, and they primarily, well, they like to keep to themselves in a sense, but they do understand the importance of trade, and we don't stay very long, so we don't overstay our welcome.
I see. And your community here seems so cozy.
Which is
And indeed, you've
probably
been quite
why we
welcome.
get along.
Eh, can I ask you, do you know? Now we noticed that when the trail we were on, then we came to that road, and that walled city's to the north, and there's a smaller city to the south we saw. But does the road that, if we wanted to go generally more to the east, do you know if the north road or the south road uh, heads more towards the east? I mean, I assume it's not directly straight north or straight south. Do you know if one of them heads a little more to the east? We're trying to get to
Considering,
this town called Chronosis, and it's a town with a library, so there's got to be a road that gets out there. We're just wondering if you know which road would head that way.
me personally, no. We typically just trade with people. You might want to speak with the elder, Wise Oak.
Oh, okay, that'd be great.
There's actually a tree that we should communicate with.
Well, it's either Wise Oak or Calestra.
Okay, well, we'd love to. Are they Calestra right now then?
Well, they're two separate
Oh, I
people,
thought you were saying,
entities.
okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant they were
Yes.
each a different one. Okay.
Well, what Wise Oak is, well, the best way to put it, the father of our house and many houses here.
Well, we'd love to speak with them. If that'd be okay for some strangers to speak with them.
Well, that wouldn't necessarily be my choice to make.
Well, might you point us in his direction so we can go see if he's willing to speak with us?
He gets up, he pushes his chair into under the table, and stands up, walks to the door, and then basically just like walks outside and points to the largest tree that you can see in this conglomeration of area. Because you can sort, and it does stand out in the sense of there's like a lot of somewhat shorter houses made of tree houses, as it were, and then there's the surrounding forest, which once you look closely, depending on what this nature check you're gonna give me is,
Oh, yes.
yeah, as you look closely, you spot it. It looks like there is a difference in um the genome of the trees, I guess would be the term for it. Like, they're very similar, right? They're made of wood, they're made of bark, but there's some distinct differences in the bark. There's differences in the composition. It's like looking at the difference between a walnut tree versus a redwood, right?
Yeah.
There's there's distinguishing features. Um but only if you're really aware. It's almost a little hybridized in a sense. But he stands outside and he just points to like this large tree that stands out amongst the others. because the general canopy of the area is a certain, there's a certain canopy to it, and this one just seems like it goes beyond that canopy. But by how far, you're not sure, because it's pretty dense.
Right. Well, that's a beautiful looking tree. Well, that's wise oak then, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. We'll have a talk with them. Excuse me, I didn't mean to be so rude, but I didn't even ask you your name. My name is Sari, and this is Zedran and Kozik and Opal, and that's Inanna outside there. Uh, and what might be your name?
Oh, well, my name is Larkos. Pleasure to meet you.
Good to
And
meet you.
my beautiful, lovely, and ever so fashionable wife is Marina.
Very fashionable indeed.
Yes, she decorated the
Well,
couch.
it's beautiful, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And you've just been so gracious having us in your home. We really appreciate it.
Well, it's always lovely meeting new people and gathering stories of new people. I mean, you're clearly not from Calm or Gura.
No, we're travelers from a long way off.
Interesting. Then what brings you
Have you ever been
here?
to? I would say, sir, good sir, Sir Lakos. Have you ever been to Bonk Village before? It's a few days' journey to the west.
No, our trade route has not taken us to said Bonk village.
Oh, it's a shame. It's one of the few places that certainly your house exceeds it, but it's one of the few hospitable places out here in the, well, I guess we consider it to be the wilderness, but it's your home, isn't it?
One and the same.
Ha ha. Indeed. Anyway, you go on, please. You were about to mention something.
Oh no, I was asking what brings you to our lovely neck of the woods. And like I said, you're not from Calm or Gura. I can tell that much by your choices of varying degrees of very interesting attire.
Traveling to Kronos, as mentioned. Uh, Aside from that, anybody else have something to add?
Well, we're all from different places.
All right.
I'm from the Feywild myself.
Oh, I've heard tales of that place. Never been there myself.
That's our home. That's the home of the Elven people.
Well, home is where you set your roots.
Well, that's right. I guess I'd say that's the ancestral roots of all Elven people, but yeah, not home necessarily. That's for sure.
And you can start to hear footsteps coming downstairs. The Marina and the two kids are she has them both in tow, but not like dragging them, but just like, bringing them downstairs and having them sit at the table. And they're living life, like they're just completely oblivious to anything going on except for they're kids just being kids and living life.
That's awesome.
They see other people in the house and they like look over at you guys and like wave every so often, but then they just go back to talking about the color of the branches and how many sticks they're gonna pick up today and how they're gonna make a tree house tonight. Like they're doing their thing. Innocence
Nice.
incarnate.
So wouldn't Inanna have gotten back in here by now?
No, depends on how long it's roughly been while you guys been talking. It takes her about 30 minutes. To do the short version of prayers. She's not gonna get out the big scary stuff, but she is gonna do the basic honors to the traveler.
In this house or like else like outside or
Kind of just outside. She likes to find somewhere a little bit private to do it.
are you being stealthy?
You know what? I would say that she is. Would you like a roll?
Yes, please.
Oh! Heaven and hell.
Nice.
I don't think any of them would notice, but I'll just do a general roll.
I take it that she finds herself a quiet little corner.
Mm-hmm. Where I mean, with the
She
nat
lays
20, wherever you want, wherever you wherever you want to be hiding to do this.
she'd lay out her incense and such and like start her daily prayers. This time, like I said, she's not gonna go for the full thing. She also has a distinct feeling that cutting her own hand in a sacred home of animals might not do very good. They'd be able to smell that shit in tomorrow. Um, so she's just focusing her energy on like specifically because they are lost here. Lost is a bad word. Trying to find a path forward. Let's say it like that. She's focusing her energy there, right? And I'm gonna say like she's focusing her talents to that degree, while I'm out of character, changing up her spells.
All right. So while you're changing up your spells, well, the camera focuses in on the house again, as you are probably gonna need a minute to go through the entirety of your spell list.
Yes.
So what's Zed doing in all this?
I think he's just been just kind of eyeing the room, obviously being very quiet. This is really new to him.
All right. So you're the guy that during like a birthday party, you're just like sitting in the couch, just like staring at everything. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, probably more like in the corner of the room, just keeping an eye on things.
Well, you know the routine. Little one chews on your hair.
Yep.
Well, in the meantime, Sari's kind of started playing with the kids. She just feels right at home. She just feels like she's just walked into a village from back home and she's just playing with the kids and having a good old time.
The little one counter continues. So the kids would play with you without caution or reservation. Like if anybody wants to play with them, they will gladly partake. Even simple games of like hide and seek, they just eat that up.
I think Zed, seeing the kind of childlike frivolity, as it were, and sorry joining in and probably being, like doing uh like the whole like covers her eyes and then opens them up and like I see you. Just messing with the kids. Little one's probably chewing on Zed's hair and he'll just like nudge his shoulder up a little bit just to get little one's attention. He's like, "Aye, go play, have fun."
Okay. And he just like, so you're like standing up doing this,
Yeah, I'm
or
like
just
I'm
sitting
basically
down?
picturing Zed's like leaned up against the wall, just maybe arms folded, just off in a corner. He's like, "Aye, go have fun."
So funny enough, like little one can fly. So when you say go play with him, he like climbs down your arm and then climbs down your leg and just sort of like waddles. Like, I mean, he doesn't really waddle, he's draconic. But he just sort of meanders over to the kids and their eyes light up like a beam of light in the darkness, like you just
Oh,
shine
yeah.
light on pearls in the darkness. Like they are just so unequivocally, undeniably excited to see this little thing roaming over to them.
He's gonna so if Zed sees that, and I'm sure little one's like probably got wings extended and is like, walking up and uh this amethyst crystalline dragon uh just making new friends. Zed will see this and he'll call the familiar to his shoulder. He'll be like, "Hi, well, why don't you go entertain him as well?" And so we'll have the raven just kind of like fly around, like kind of like swoop in and really slow, uh, and just kind of like letting the kids try and catch the bird and um then maybe like fluttering away for a second before doing it again. He's just kind of letting the letting his winged friends go have some fun.
And they all partake. Like it even seems like these kids might actually be somewhat used to playing with, flying creatures for some unknown reason as you're
Right.
leaning next to this couch covered in owl feathers. That's funny.
Yeah, he's just watching.
The
How old are these
kiddos,
kids?
the kiddos have limitless energy. Um, they're probably like because they're elves and elves kind of matured somewhat differently. Um, I don't know, probably around like 6 or 7.
Ah, okay. So there's lots of like rolling around and wrestling on the floor and awesome.
Mud that gets tracked in constantly, but luckily they live in a treehouse, so it's not a big deal. So eventually, Neovara would have finished
Finishes
what
up
she's
and
doing.
comes back in. I just didn't want to interrupt anyone. She's not as worried about like sneaking back around. Like obviously, the incense on her person probably gives her away to a fucking house full of animals. Walks inside, sees the little one playing around with the kids. Smiles a little bit. She's like, "Oh, that's cute." meanders over to rejoin Sari, and then sits down at the table-ish. Well, did our host have any ideas about how we progress forward? She looks to Zed and Kozik.
There's some wise people in their community that we might consult with.
Oh,
One of which is apparently a wise and ancient tree, and the other party I don't remember hearing too much about. Is it Calestra?
Yes, Calestra. Or yeah, Calestra.
very interesting. Did they
Almost let
tell you
something slip.
anything more about what's going on here?
Well, they said it's just that's just how the people are, how they've always been. They just change at night, and it's totally natural to them. And you know, he tends to change into a bear, but they can change into other critters as well, and it's just natural. And get this, their village, the entire village moves. They're a traveling village. Like, so every week or so, they just move somewhere else. I don't know how or that works or anything, but oh, it's just great, isn't it?
Um, the many blessings of change, I see.
That's it.
Yeah, that.
Told you before. Uh, and she's a little bit hesitant about it before she leans a little closer to Sari. The traveler's gifts are many.
That seems like a true thing you just said.
Well, if they'd like us to talk with their elders so that we may find our solution to break the curse going on here. Curse meaning why we can't move forward.
Right. Oh, because you mean because the road ended? You think we're being blocked?
Something.
Right. Well,
Trav,
let's go talk to this beautiful tree over here. This wise oak.
I bumped my mic. Oops.
Well, thank you again, Lacos and Marina, and it's just been a joy to get to know you a bit. And yeah, we'll go talk to your elder. Does that sound good, everyone?
Right?
Also, what's everybody wearing right now? As far as attire, not as far as armor.
Sari's got on her traveling clothes, but she always has on at least her leather armor.
he's saying like, what does it
Uh,
look like? The type of clothes.
Opal's wearing her usual clothing. Well, she does still wash it occasionally, but she doesn't really need to do it all too often. She doesn't sweat or anything. Though, said, after the last battle, cleaning it might have been the right idea.
But what does it look like? That's right. Sometimes the DM might ask you a question that makes absolutely no sense at surface
yeah, I feel
level.
like what what do all what do we all actually look like versus, I guess, our armor
Yeah.
variants. So I can start. Zed's basically a sort of swashbuckler, as it were, a sailor, pirate. I The easy way to describe it is I tend to kind of think of him as Jack Sparrow's stunt double. But you know, the kind of typical sort of almost knee-high boots. He's got a bunch of layers, kind of a shirt with a vest over it, and then a long coat and a whole bunch of pockets, and um, uh, he's got a very long beard, kind of ornamental sort of beads and maybe like coins or what have you, just kind of braided into it. Um, and he's got long, kind of streaky black hair um, that probably hasn't been properly washed in quite a long time. And yeah, he's very quirky, if that helps, as far as mannerisms and whatnot. But at this point, he's kind of got his arms folded off in a corner, um, just watching. And there's a reason. I'm sure people in the party might pick up on.
You know, that description makes me think of imagine Vegeta in like a pirate outfit, how he's always just like pouting off in the corner, but he's like
That's what I was
that heart of
picturing.
gold.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm too cool to be over there. But man, they sure are. Yeah, yeah, they're just whatever.
I've got no time for this.
But he's just like he's just lapping it up in his own Vegeta way.
Yeah. So yeah, like Zed being an orphan and having tough ties to family and stuff like that. Anytime we've come across family interactions, he's always just like pouts and kind of stays to himself.
All right, I'll just go up the list. What's Sari wearing? Like, just describe the clothing she wears aside
Well,
from
let's
just the
see.
armor.
She's got on a pair of really nice kind of a reddish brownish leather pair of boots that they go up the calf pretty high, and they lace up with these really cool buttons like the kind you see at anyway, really cool buttons made out of bone. And and then she's got her pants are somewhat fitted because she's always in some kind of armor, so they're kind of fitted, and they're a kind of a light green mossy color, and there's pockets and everything. She's got, and then she has kind of a fitted, a dark green fitted kind of long sleeve undershirt, and then over that is kind of a vest or a tunic, if you will. Um, that's kind of a green color in between the dark green and the mossy green. And then there's a kind of a sash tied around the tunic. And she's got this amulet that she always wears around her neck. Um, and oh, and the sash around her waist is kind of the sort of the color of the boots. And she's usually got her hair back or in a braid. Um, and yeah, pretty simple like that.
All right. What's Opal wearing? What's that look like? What is Opal's usual?
Opal's usual clothing is just a very simple black dress. Uh, sh- it's something she's been wearing for ages, as she doesn't really see the need to change clothing all too often. She continuously wears the same thing. She does wash it, making sure that even though she is not a human, it will still gather, the gradual wear and tear, gradual grime collection. She will wash it and make sure it looks nice. It is tight around her body, but around her arms and legs, that the dress gets much looser, so she is able to better work on her tools, her crafting, or her crafting project.
All right. And what's Kozik wearing? The noble.
Oh, I think Kozik is wearing sort of uh maybe kind of the normal clothes of a merchant or a traveler sort of type of person. A little bit high end, but I mean, all these weeks and weeks on the road have kind of made some of the clothes a little threadbare. But it's no disguising that they were very well made in the beginning. There's some nice, maybe you know, fur from special dwarven giant rabbits that's at the collars and cuffs of his tunic, and he's got some nice buttons that go down it, and maybe a nice sturdy belt around his waist, and then one of those I don't know what you call them. I think in American English it's called like a Sam Brown belt, but a little belt that goes across the chest too that you can hang things from and stuff.
Very practical and warm.
Yeah, maybe a little flare on there, a little flash, but oh, maybe some of that fur started to pull out of the cuffs there of his sword arm, and maybe that collar's getting a little ragged, but he's doing okay. Oh, and of course a helmet with some very I see him as kind of some slender, maybe some young deer antlers on there.
Mm-hmm. And what's Inanna look like?
Um, Inanna, I believe, has she I believe that she's wearing Sarissa's teal jacket, right? It's giving her a sort of cool toned look. She has it sort of covering up most of the seams of her dress so that she can pretend that she's wearing a white dress that sort of has a little dusky look to it. It's just her normal dress turned inside out. Creative.
Hey, what's up?
That way you also can't see if anything about it looks a little wrong. The dress itself is a little bit doesn't look like it quite fits her very well. She's a little bit short for it, so the hems on the bottom of it are very much extra hemmed up and caught in her belts. She's a few of them, and she's carrying a heavy pack with a lantern tied at her hip, as well as a number of weapons on her. Um, for the effects of trying to look like an Eladrin, she currently has like a snowfall pattern coming down her skin in like a sort of light blue. It's moving down her form. She can control that fairly
Wow.
easily. And her eyes are a glowing blue.
All right. That's a tough choice for her. This is background stuff. So, of the group, Marina would take note of Kozik's threads kind of coming apart, and clearly looks like he had some nice attire, but time has worn it. And Marina would come over to Kozik to start and take note of this, like just take note of it really. I guess kneel down because she's a little tall. I see
I'm
your
so short.
attire seems like it could use some fixing.
Oh well, how embarrassing.
No need to be embarrassed. Clothing is clothing, it gets worn. I could
We've had a
fix that
lot of
for you.
moons on the road here, and yes, we don't have the sort of homely house as you folks do. So if there's anything you could do for me, I'd be grateful.
Hmm. And it looks like she's been eyeing your clothing long before you even were, saying, well, if you don't mind. It kind of always looks like her mind was already made up, and she's already been
Mhm.
investigating any of the fraying, any of the stretch clothing, any potential holes, like, the really thinning of the uh, cloth. Like, she's already taken all of this information in as you're saying it. Like, her mind was made up before even asking the question.
Uh-huh.
And then she'll stand up. She has a couple of really close ones. Um, she would probably look over to probably Niavara. Yeah. And
Okay.
what manner of style is that?
Manner
And she
of
points to your like jacket and like your clothes and attire. Like, you realize that this woman, while she doesn't wear a dress per se, but she has very, very like regal clothing. Um, and just in like the vest that she wears, it even has a bit of like a some interweaving of it, right? But there's definitely some feather textures in there.
uh
She definitely
well,
seems to be
there's
the fashionable of the two of them.
hmm and she's judging Niavara's lack of taste. And so she's going to
Would it
wink
be
a
like a
bit, like
taste?
be a little bit funny about it. And she lifts up the jacket and so she's like, something borrowed. And then she turns her lips blue with a playful wink. Something blue. Or something like that. In actuality, it's just you know, you know. She makes a thumbs
Oh,
up. I don't have very
well,
many clothes otherwise.
but that's lovely.
Hmm?
And she points at your jacket. Any
Oh,
craftsman can, any craftsman with their money could understand the delicate sewing of this. And she walks up to you and just sort of holds her hand, not really holds her hands out like gimme gimme, but like let me show you something kind of thing.
all right. And Niavara sort of just like leans her head back so that she can get a better look at it. Like she's used to being touched by other people, like in like a sort of observing way.
Well, if you notice the stitching here, that's interwoven in a way that's fascinating. That's very into. Where did you get this? Who made
It was a
this?
gift.
I haven't
A
seen
lady.
stitching or anything like this in ooh, a very long time.
It was a keepsake from my friend, the Lady Sarissa.
Oh, lady. And she takes a step back, puts a hand like over her chest and almost like a gasp, but clearly playful. Well, I was unaware we were in the company of royalty.
Oh, I'm not. Vel might be, but I'm not.
And then she'll also look over to Kozik and wink as she says, "Royalty." Oh,
No, no,
very,
that's
very recognizing of nobility.
I try to stand up straighter.
She was a shopkeep in the Feywild. Working for the Lady Miriam, I don't know if lady is a title for royalty or just out of respect. I suppose I'll give the game away she was a dragon.
That would explain it. And she snaps her fingers. Yep, that would definitely explain it. And then she'll mosey over to Sourpuss Pouty Face, um, Jack Sparrow stunt double Vegeta.
Jack Sparrow Vegeta.
Jack
Actually,
Vegeta.
no. Who am I kidding? If anybody's Vegeta, it's not Captain Jack Sparrow. He's Goku. Sorry, continue.
Or Kid Trunks.
Oh, yeah, fair.
So she'll mosey over to Zed and take note of his attire. What manner of environment would one wear something like this? It seems not very good for forest living. And then she just kind of eyes Zed's clothing a little bit closer.
And Zed'll almost like notice that and not really show off, but just kind of,
Ah, it's about time you recognize the beauty of Vegeta. Vegeta flex. Damn it, Kakarot.
You're not
kinda
working
like,
with your
like,
an average space pirate anymore.
oh,
Sorry.
I'm above 9,000, by the way. No, he'll like open up his coat a little bit. And notice that he's just being assessed.
And she seems to be like very observant of your attire. And if any, I mean, even with a passive insight, it kind of, yeah, even passive insight gives it away. She's very intrigued by different people's style of clothing, especially, particularly Niavara's. And, she probably gave that away a little bit as to why. And Zed for some different reason. Because she hasn't stated out loud as to why. And her interaction with Kozik was more like, I can stitch that up for you kind of interaction. But what you
So,
do with that information is up to you.
so yeah, Zed he's kind of, like he reaches out his arms, shows his sleeves, just kind of opens one side of his jacket, just, right. So this is pretty much, it's pretty much it.
What kind of climate is this? Would this be used in? I'd imagine it's not very good for desert life. The sand would get in everything.
It does. It really does. I don't know. I wore it pretty much ever since I was sailing on a ship, and I mean I've taken it off and I've washed it before, but yeah, I don't don't really have an issue.
Nah, I have a hard enough time keeping certain accents. Oh, a sailor, that makes sense. Never been on a boat. Never really met a sailor before either.
Hi. Well, pleasure to meet you. As
They're kind of a
a
mix.
sailor. Anyway, I've actually not sailed in quite a while. But if we're long story, but we are kind of trying to look into boats or ships, more or less.
Hmm. Can't say I know anything of the sort. But if you need anything stitched, well,
Are you? Why are you? Are you a tailor? Or what?
you could say that. As she like casually moseys over to like a coat rack and just sort of passes by these really nice like coats hanging on it as she's making her way back to the kiddos. Actually, probably back to Kozik. Well, if you don't mind, I could patch these up for you and make it as good as new.
I'd be grateful. I would love that. Too kind.
Hmm. But I would need to get
I
some
can,
measurements, of course.
of course. Should I go in my pack and see if I can find something else to change into? Shall I remove these?
Yes, it would make it much easier to patch your clothing if you're not in it, I suppose. If you
I
need privacy, the bedroom upstairs, you've already been there. I'll make sure the kids don't barge in and stumble over everything. But they seem rather occupied as it is. And just the camera in the foreground blurs, and in the background is just kids playing with little one and like holding him up and holding him in the air and kind of spinning around, and like the raven flying around as the kids are trying to like catch it too.
Oh, and as I'm rooting through let's see here. As I'm rooting through my pack, I'm remembering that oh no, I've actually given away my fancy clothes that I had. I think I maybe gave them to Dale because he was like naked and humiliated and was going to be like murdered by my friends here. I think they got consumed, but I do find that there's an old moldering coat that contained the pocket that held the ladder. So I'm going to have to like put that on and kind of drape myself.
So you pull out this old nasty jacket
We found it in the woods in a
found in the
pile.
woods in a pile of like rusting ladders.
So yeah, that's where
Hmm.
I'm at.
How about this? And she just pulls one of the coats off the rack. If you'd rather change into, put this on.
Oh, of course. Yes. And I fold up the coat and put that away, and I don the whatever it is she's given me.
So you
Leave the
have
shirt.
on. They're still like considered like quote unquote like like traders attire as far as like game mechanics go, but they're really really nice. They're very comfortable. Granted, they're not fitted for you, so the sleeves are a little long. Um, it kind of maybe drags on the ground a little bit. Just how tall it's probably intended, who it's intended for, and how tall it is. Just dimensions are off, but even with all that, even with all that, it is extremely comfortable. Like it's got like so it's basically a jacket, but it has like the furs on the inside, so it's kind of like leather with this like nice fur on the inside.
Nice lining. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got really nice lining, so when you put it on, it's very like comfortable, but it's not. Well, especially for you, you'd imagine if it were fitted for you, it wouldn't like hug the skin too hard or too tightly, so just enough to breathe, but it does give enough coverage from the elements that, from the leather side of it on the outside, that it would also keep you warm as well. And you definitely get the feeling of custom stitching, like probably akin to something that you've experienced when you were back home, like
The
really
highest
nice
level.
threads.
Yes. Wow. My madam, is this couture? This is quite nice. Did you make this
Yes,
yourself?
I made it with my own two hands, despite distractions. And she looks over to the kids in the background.
Well, it's quite exquisite, and I thank you for letting me wear it.
Of course, it will only take me probably a couple of hours to stitch up your original clothing. Unless you want me to make you a whole new set entirely, I could do that in probably a, an hour or two beyond that. Probably, assuming I have all the resources available.
Oh, and I give a deep bow, and I say that I'd be eternally grateful to have something so skillfully made, made with such care.
Well, I suppose I should ask how long you're going to. Dear, have you asked them how long they're going to be here? Is there already a time set? And the guy's just sitting at the table enjoying his beverage. He's just like, nope.
Well, we haven't decided how long we were going to be here either, I don't think.
But we do need
Well,
to consult with these august presences to find a way forward.
well, and this is um, Largos speaking. Well, it's you could definitely safely say that we're not really going anywhere, at least for a few more days. So you don't have to worry about us being the ones holding you up on
Mhm.
some kind of a timeline. We're certainly free for now. But if you're in a hurry, I'm sure we can try to expedite something. However, however, and then he points to the kids. I'm sure they would be very sad to see you go so soon.
Oh, so, um,
And they're still playing.
Zed kind of like starts to say something and then pauses, um, and then goes into thieves' cant, uh, and says to Niavara, um, should we have Veldrin speak to these folks about what he's concerned about.
I think Val might appreciate the chance to. Uh,
And then
Staying a few
Zed,
extra days won't be too bad. We
Zed will
still
kind of cough. Like as he probably just started to say something and then mumbled a bit and then sorry, and then he'll just glance over at Niavara.
mm-hmm. Well, I believe that it'll be best for us to at least stay a few days, get ourselves reorganized. We have a couple things on our agendas, don't we?
Aye, and as far as I know, there's no real direct path east from here, so
Nope.
um we'll have to figure that out as well.
He
Yeah.
claps his hands together. Wonderful. Then that gives my lovely Marina time to properly make you something from scratch. And she's the one who's, like I said, she's the fashionable one here. And as such, I let her deal with all of the trading in regards to tailoring and threading. Plus, it would give more time to acquisition some more material. After all, at night, certain animals have certain furs that are quite useful. Isn't that right, dear? And she looks at him and nods.
Is there a way we could actually help you acquiesce said materials?
Aren't
Hmm.
certain furs also quite literally your fellow brethren? Would you have to kill them to acquire them?
No, it would be rather awkward. It would just revert back if it weren't a part of them. But fur is like hair. That's a little more easy to sacrifice.
I see.
As are
Well,
feathers.
I might be in the business of getting a new dress. She looks down at it. I stole it from my older sister, and I'm not sure if I want to keep wearing it.
Ah, you want to change things up a bit.
Maybe. At least have the option to.
And then he looks over to Marina. You hear that, dear? You get more things to do and more fashions to learn. How wonderful. And it, like before he said that, and you were just like, I'm in the market for a new dress. You probably would have just seen like her look in your direction and just do a big thumbs up and a big happy smile.
And actually, she flips over the cuff of her actual sleeve of her dress to show off the drow in like the drow text on the inset. I can almost 100% guarantee you've never seen the embroidery on this.
No. She you can see like at this point she started measuring a Kozik.
I'll let you
However,
finish his.
I look forward to learning new fashions. It goes a long way as to the trade. The more I learn, the more I can provide, and the more I could, well, you know.
Make.
I I don't mean to interrupt, but if I may, have you ever seen anything like this? And Zed's gonna like open his coat. He's got many layers on. He's gonna open his coat,
What are you
gonna
boying?
unbutton his vest, and then
Uh,
show
if you
the
know you know.
studded leather armor that when he got it, well, it wasn't when he got it, but it was what was the triggering effect? I think we had opened some sort of crate in the Feywild, and I rolled a check, and we never really found out what happened. And then all of a sudden, this armor just started fitting like incredibly snug, like I almost couldn't feel like it was on. So I'm showing this tailor the this studded leather armor just to see if they could see if anything is special about it. Oh, what do you think about this, by the way? Because something we were in the Feywild, and well, I kind of feel like it was meant for me, but anyway, I guess you have a look.
I can't say I'm much of an armor smith or leather worker. I mean, to some small degree, I can make with leather or make use of leather, but that's armor. That's a different And she just sort of like snaps her fingers a couple times. Different profession?
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. My apologies.
But I can make you a very similar looking jacket, I suppose. You want it to look like it's armor?
I well, well, I wouldn't mind something new, I guess. I appreciate that. I did get all these clothes from my crew, so they kind of mean a bit, but
Um. Alright. I can't spell. Wow.
I'm not trying to be rude. Yeah, I'll take anything.
Uh, sure. I mean, I kind of would need to know what your tastes are, but
Well, hey,
I'm sure I could
could you
fashion
make?
something.
I think I lost my hat a bit ago. Could you make me a hat?
Perhaps? Can't say that I have ever made one.
All right, never mind, never mind. I think I'm asking too much.
Oop. Okay. So, yeah. And she's just taking it, like in this time frame, she'll be just taking different people's like measurements who requested clothing. You know, just sort of going through the hoops of what a tailor would do to make you some custom fit clothes. And I mean, during this time, there's still like people outside talking, kids playing. there's still people outside as well. So you don't. If you wanted to go outside, you could. Like nobody's keeping you in here. The doors aren't locked or anything.
Oh, well, Sari's definitely outside playing with the kids. She's
So,
just really needed this. This village just feels like home, and she just playing with the kids, and they're chasing each other and playing tag, and she just is having a great time just being happy-go-lucky and carefree for a minute. I mean, she knows there's the road ahead and the road behind, but in the moment, she's just totally giving herself over to just running around and playing with the kids.
and all the commotion would draw some other kids over, especially seeing the adult playing and then the bird flapping around, and probably little one's the biggest attraction here.
Hmm.
Like to the point where probably some of the adults would take notice of little one and start heading over just to see what's going on and what the commotion's about and what the intrigue is. Because you're also like you have elven features, so they at first glance they don't seem like they even notice you being any different.
Yeah, yeah. Especially since I'm an Oath of the Ancients paladin, so like I have all kinds of green stuff and nature, embossed things, and yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, to some extent, this almost feels like not just home, but more your element than anything else. Like even when you were back at home, right? Like you
Yeah,
probably lived in
yeah.
a house, like a house. You probably, had a roof over your head in a different fashion. This is like the epitome of being
This
in
is my
balance with
childhood
nature.
dream house. Yeah, my
Yeah.
childhood dream village.
Yeah. So just having the oath of the ancients, this is like everything that you would imagine you'd want.
So, uh, Zed's Zed's kind of standing off, and he's still keeping an eye on all the folks that are surrounding little one, and um, the celestial raven still just kind of fluttering around and just kind of playing, being a distraction. Um,
Well, actually, the Raven would have
I
picked up on his
did
radar, on her
we
radar.
did we learn about the vision that Sari had? Did she tell us? Um,
I think she did.
like specifically about Oberon,
Old Ogeron.
or did she keep that to herself?
Huh.
Can't remember.
I think that was like private knowledge.
How did that knowledge come out? Was that in a vision that what do we each got our own vision or something?
Yeah, you had like we all had visions uh of certain things, and you had one um about,
Yeah, that I remember the
do
face
you
of
remember?
Oberon finally being revealed, that's who was
Yeah.
behind my
So
my family's death.
I wasn't sure if you had shared that with us, because I thought we had kind of talked about what we had seen.
Yeah, I'm thinking we did. I'm thinking, did we? Gosh.
Because I didn't want to just bring something up, but if we knew about that, then I would bring something up.
I mean, no, I think we shared because I think I remember somebody saying something at one point about it. I think we shared. Yeah, and that's another reason. Sorry, she's having such a great time because she's not
Well,
in the Feywild. She feels like she doesn't want to go back to the Feywild because she's got so many mixed emotions about what she's learned and what it would mean to be there, and ultimately choices that she has to make about, you know, what she's going to do with the knowledge she has. And so to be in a village full of elves, but not be in the Feywild is like such freedom. It's not, it doesn't have that all that angst with it.
uh, let's see. Should I roll a history check just to see?
Just see if you remember her talking to you about it.
I guess so, because I don't want to bring up OOC stuff, but I was gonna bring something up to Sorry.
I mean, it sounded like she
But if
explained it.
okay, so then Zed's watching little one and like keeping an eye on them, and the ravens kind of like flying around and swooping and being very celestial.
Being very
And
celestial.
Zed will probably just walk up next to Sorry, and he'll whisper, just not like whisper, but just talk very softly and just, I you think they have any idea about Oberon from that vision?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean. I mean they're all a bit, they're all killers, and I mean, would they know about my family? I don't know. I don't think they would, but
I just
I
mean,
mean that he would be a betrayer like that, that he would be false and betray
oh,
people like that, do you
I,
mean?
I mean, do they know anything? Because you mentioned recognizing
Well, I got the impression, like when I said
vision.
something about, the Feywild being our home, and Lacos was saying how he felt like, this was his home. His home was where he was, and it didn't seem like he had a particular connection to the Feywild. Like they seem to be, I don't know, somehow separate from that. Like they've taken their own journey whenever their people left. I don't know, but it seems like they didn't have a connection, which, oh God, that feels great to me.
Yeah, well, I just, given the nature of things here, and I don't mean that in any sort of, you know, um,
I mean, do
double
you mean do they
entendre,
know
but
about him? Like, is he's a backstabbing,
yeah, like,
betraying son
maybe
of
there's
a?
a reason that they're not, that they're here.
Oh,
Like,
I
just,
see
it's
what you're
interesting,
saying. Like that, at some point they made a decision not to be in the Feywild.
possibly, or maybe generations of family, they just might have information, and I don't want to be the one to bring it up. Or if you don't want to bring it up, then I just felt like I'd say it, but
I
I'm not
wonder. I
sure
mean,
how curious you
the
are.
way he talked about the. Well, I mean, of course, I'm curious, but gosh, the way he talked about the Feywild not being home. But yeah, you're right. It could be. That might be a question that I'll hold for for the elder, for the wise oak.
Yeah.
He
And
might know.
and don't lose your spirit. Even if they don't know about the Feywild, what I will tell you is this. stories of the Feywild get out to the material plane all the time. How
Right.
do you think I knew about Kozik's lady? It's not because I have a deep love of the Fae. You know that I don't.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I'm
think I'm
so
going to ask the elder. I think they might have maybe more
Yeah,
information, on the history of the village and how it is they
absolutely.
split off, and if they know about Oberon.
Yeah, I just wanted you
No,
to try and find anything possibly.
no, Zed, I really, really appreciate you thinking of
He'll,
me and asking good questions. Thank you.
he'll put his arm on, put his hand on Sari's shoulder and kind of like do the whole like friendly sort of shake, and then he'll
You're a good friend,
open
mate.
up his coat with his other hand, revealing his flask, and just kind of be like, "I,
Yeah, sure. Eyebrows go up and a big
all
grin
right, go
comes on
ahead."
her face. Thanks, mate. Takes a big swig and hands it back.
One of the
Tuck it in
kids
his pocket.
runs up to you as you're taking a swig. Can I have some?
Zed will be super animated. Oh, hey, what are you up to, little
Hey, it's grown-up
ones?
juice, mates. It's grown-up juice.
Oh, that makes me bigger?
He
I want
just
some.
Ah,
he's
no,
gonna
it's
gonna
just for
step
the
in
adults.
front of Sari and as she's drinking and be like real animated and big, and then hold one hand behind him.
Ooh. Give me a performance check.
Okay.
Oh, unimpressed.
He's gonna fall. Because he's trying to be like super just bolsterous and not let the kids see. He didn't realize that they had any uh eyes on them or were paying any attention. And so as Sari's grabbing this flask and like undoing the cap and taking this huge swig, Zed just realizes, oh shit. And then he thinks that, and as he's about to say it, he catches himself and he just kind of falls flat. Um,
Dog pile. And then a bunch of kids like run up and just start like jumping on top of Zed.
Piling on.
I'm assuming that little one and the raven also follow suit.
I mean, unless you command the Raven to. Little one do it though. He has his own free will.
Yeah, I would probably have the raven just like perch on top just for the show of everything.
So sorry, it's like so Zed hands you the flask, and just as he does so, the kid's like, "Can I have some?" And then he's like, "Oh," and then falls over, and then all the kids just jump on him while you're. It's like your arm is still outstretched with like the flask still in it. The kids is completely and utterly, as kids do, lost
Yeah,
track, and
squirrel. They lost track, yes.
yeah, they just lost track of it, and now they're just like, there's. I mean, clearly Zed wanted to be dogpiled, so they all just joined in.
Why else would he fall over?
Yeah, like why else would an adult fall over in front of us? And at this point, Zed is covered in like there's like 5 or 6 kids that just were in the immediate vicinity, and then like they just all it's just laughing and playing and rolling around, and like you're not getting hurt by them. They're just enjoying
Yeah.
being. You're like a little bounce house right now, I guess. Everybody wants in.
Well, I feel like this is actually maybe a somewhat priceless moment because everyone in the party
Mhm.
sees a very childlike version of Zed that like more or less maybe didn't have this. So he's
Uh-huh.
just kind of getting it out and he looks like such a kid.
Yeah, because he's been kind of standing back, so he must be feeling really secretly happy to be included in all the festivities.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, DS? We're just
Neovar's
about to
version of
wrap up here
helping him
too.
out in the situation is making
Unfortunate.
sure that she takes the flask away from his outstretched hand so that none of the kids end up seeing it. Putting that shit right onto her belt, like, oh, I don't know if my whistle was caught by that. Like, bum ba dum ba dum.
Good friends indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And to that very refreshing and wholesome moment, that's a perfect stopping point.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's awesome.
Ah.
Thanks for running the session. Really cute.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really fun.
yeah.
Nice
I'm
try.
stealing my dog.
Let's meet
Gavin.
it.
No!
So,
Don't
It's his
steal
birthday
the
week,
bow.
don't forget. It's his birthday
Not,
True.
week.
no, she can take the Bosa. I'm not going to be too broken up about it. Though she'll have to pry him from my cold dead fucking hands.
Let's let DM speak.
yeah, it's like people do that so much that, I try not to interrupt the game with it. So, voting for inspiration. I know there wasn't really a combat this session, but you guys just came out of a pretty big fight last time. So,
Mm-hmm.
ebb and flow and pacing.
No, I really enjoyed that.
I also think there was an intentional sort of notion to stay here so Veldrin can have a chance to speak with folks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when we go see the wise oak,
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling Hugh is gonna have something for each one of us because he's just that kind of DM.
And all these nat ones and nobody using inspiration on them.
Sometimes that one
Not,
is just
yeah,
funny.
exactly.
Plus, it worked really well for Zed. He thought it was going to be just really cool, and then he falls over, and the kids. It was the best thing he could have done.
Speaking of Zed, then, Zed, do you have an inspo?
No.
I vote
I
for
was also
Zed.
gonna say
I
Zed.
vote for
Yeah.
Zed for having a flask and for falling over.
Always prepared.
Sure, yeah.
I would say I would vote for Kozik for obviously being the leader in these times when we meet new folks and then not really running into anyone except for
Bunch of animals.
yeah, a bunch of animals that we couldn't understand.
Oh, it sounds like Ed.
Well, I
Let's
appreciate
see.
it.
How to find a non-toxic way to play D&D online.
gamer inspo. He
Um,
deserves it.
I sort of hand select my groups
If I could give
in
you
a
one, I'd
sense.
give it to you, Cubes.
Bad idea.
Be careful.
Never
You
get
can't. I
the
think you
D&D.
can do that.
Never get
Oh
the
well, I mean, I
DM.
wouldn't give mine away, but I mean,
What I'm saying is, you can. I believe if we do ever want to make ourselves suffer, we can give it to Cubed.
He's toyed with the idea, yeah.
I
I've
just
never
love this drawing of this house. It's
I've never
so
toyed with the
cool.
idea of I would never toy with that idea. What are you talking about?
Not you.
I always say, well, you could give the DM inspiration. I've never said anything beyond that. Everything else, every speculation and every assumption has been all in your own heads.
I would never let my players vote for inspiration for me, the DM, unless it was funny. No, I could totally see that happening. It would be kind of funny.
To be completely honest, I would vote cubed. I would vote cubed for inspiration just based on this background alone.
Yes, the voices, the characters, a very creative concept.
It was very nice. It was a very fun session. Even though I wasn't very talkative, my nerves are still frayed.
Yeah,
Man,
you
I just
almost got hit
what happened to
by
your
a car.
nerves?
Shot.
Oopsie daisy, almost got into a car accident because a dickhead truck driver almost crashed into me and my
Oh.
mom.
And it's like
Oh,
his
that
first near miss too.
shit.
Always the worst one.
Oh, so glad you're okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they're having non D&D based discussions. So, to that extent, let's see. To answer the question, I do typically hand select groups, because a big part of it for me is like because previously I just said whoever just join whatever, and that was very. There were experiences that have taught me a lot of things about there being multiple people that you don't know in a game. Um, but also it makes it easier for scheduling, which is a huge thing. Um, so yeah, I have a few people that I'm like, okay, I think these people would get along. This will work. This might do so and so. Um, yep. Catch y'all's next time. Oh, is it? Oh, is it? Wait. Well, we'll see who's in town during Christmas. During Christmas. Um, but that's a couple weeks from now. So to that extent, I mean, at some point I might feel a little more comfortable extending, games to people I don't really know, but it might still be like a what's the term? I can't think of the term. Vouch, like somebody vouching for somebody else, kind of thing. Um, Hybrid, your schedule sucks. Let's be fair on that one. Um, but anywho, that was fun. It was very wholesome tonight. Um, they just got done with a pretty big, like really dangerous fight. So I was like, this would be a good, you have that up, and now this is kind of that calm down, which is cool. That's kind of why I planned this whole thing. So to that, all right, bye. Um, so yeah, so announcementy things. Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Correct. It is indeed Tuesday. So we do this as I say at the end of every stream. We do this every Tuesday. Possibly not on the 24th. We'll see who's in town for that, but that's still a couple weeks out. So, Christmas Eve. We'll see who's around for that and how many people we got. But as far as next week, we should still be on. We start at 7:40 Pacific. Actually, you know what? I kind of like this. This is a nice screen. 7:40 Pacific, typically. Sometimes we start. I've been trying to reel them in to 7:30, but I think they got so used to 7:40 at this point. And so tomorrow, That's the second game I'm running. That's going to be at 5:30 Pacific. Different group, different feel, different everything. I mean, it's the second campaign. And yeah. Let's see. Thursday is probably going to be back to Path of Exile, just being real. Thinking. Any other announcements of things that might come up? As far as coming up tomorrow is just D&D. And possibly me starting a little early because I gotta get my Path of Exile kick in. But beyond that, it was fun. It was a roleplay heavy day. It was definitely entertaining, definitely interesting, definitely fun. Seems like they had a lot of fun just getting to unwind, like have the characters unwind. And that's nice. That's nice. So to that extent, I believe that is it, and I will catch y'alls again next time. What time is it? It's like 11. I might do a couple hours of Path of Exile. We'll see. Most likely, honestly. I got leveling to do. But for the D&D folks, if y'all want to see some more Path of Exile gameplay in probably like 15 to 20 minutes, probably less, I'm just gonna, end this here so I can get the VOD sent, and then yeah, I'll fire back up again because damn it, I'm obsessed. So anywho, I'll catch you all next time. Try not to party too hardy without me. All right. All right. Have yourselves a good one. Peace.